All right, so we're on. Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to Cocktails and Conversations. I am so excited to have another speaker for the 2021 Women Going in Business Conference. We are excited to have you all on September the 11th at the Hampton Roads Kroc Center. So if you have not received your registration or you have not signed up for the conference, make sure that you're registering because VIP is going to be closed soon and you're only going to be able to access the general admissions, and we don't want you to miss out on a great opportunity. So make sure that you sign up for the Women Going in Business Conference. And so we have Miss Nikieta Lambert, and she is going to tell us about herself and her session and how you're going to leave change after attending her session. Welcome, Nikieta.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kendra. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you today and having you at the conference coming up. So tell me, do you have a cocktail?
Well, I have something of the sort. So it's in a wine glass because I
Ooh.
wanted to come correct. But I have a lot of food intolerances, so I can't do cocktails. But there's this really cool sparkling watermelon juice from
Mm.
Trader Joe's, and it's very refreshing, and it has natural ingredients, just pure watermelon juice, and then the fizzy water. And so it's a tasty treat.
I'm gonna have to try that. That actually sounds good.
Yeah, they have it watermelon, and then they have a sparkling strawberry juice.
Okay, yes. I want to try both. I
I
have
have both in my pantry.
a quick drink. I have pineapple bowl rock, so it's apple cider.
Oh, I've had a pineapple cider before. So good.
Yes, yes. So that's what I have. So Nikieta, go ahead and share with us about yourself. Tell us about you.
Okay, well, yes, my name is Nikieta Lambert, and I am an author, a public speaker, and a mental health advocate. I got into this line of work because of my own hardship in life. I think that's how a lot of us who are in any kind of service enter that because we have some sort of pain or we've been impacted by somebody's pain and we just want to be able to reach out and help. And
Right.
so back in 2014, it was just weeks before I got married, I got the official diagnosis of having generalized anxiety disorder and depression. And on one hand, it was like, yes, answers. But then on the other hand, I still had a lot of this stigma from the Black community in my head, like, oh my gosh, I'm crazy, I'm this, I'm that. And so at the time, I just realized, you know what? If this is going to be my life, if this is what I'm working with, I want God to be able to be glorified through that.
Mhm.
And it took a long time for me to be able to see how he could be glorified because there were some really, really dark days.
Mhm.
And not to say that they're all the way gone now, but they're much fewer and farther between, and I know better how to navigate them. But anyway, all of that to say that my least favorite part of that was feeling alone or like I didn't have any representation of someone who was struggling with mental health but still had big dreams. I feel like
Mhm.
there's these two sides of the spectrum where either you're completely down and out, can't get out of bed, thinking about ending it all, or you're completely healed, you're doing awesome. Now you're telling everybody else how to live their best life, and it's just unrelatable and untouchable. And I wanted to be able to fill in the gap in the middle. Like, I'm doing things with my life, and it's hard, and it's awesome, like all together. We're the people who are trying, but also struggling, but not ready to give up.
Right.
Um, so that's where I'm at. I'm actually writing my first book. It's called Dear Friend Get Well,
Mhm.
and it's really exciting. I'm in the editing phases now, and yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
Well, who's the target for the book? Is it for children or is it for adults?
It's for adults. And
Okay.
I would say I had it in mind for 20 and 30 something,
Okay.
but it's been really interesting as I've expanded my following on social media platforms that there are a lot of men who I get in my DMs, but not like in the creepy way. And they're telling me like, hey, you're helping me to learn how to set boundaries. Hey, you're helping me to learn how to speak more assertively. And so that's cool and unexpected. But then also a lot of older women. And I guess because, like I said, there's just all this stigma and misinformation that is old. Like this whole focus on mental health and mental illness and normalizing this conversation is very, very recent. And so there are a lot of these older women who are realizing like, oh my gosh, I have childhood trauma. Or, oh my goodness, my feelings have a name. It's depression. It's PTSD. And so seeming like, I know they say you have to be niche specific and come up with your target avatar, but I think it's just really for anybody who's hurting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's good, because the thing about what we're going through now with the pandemic and COVID and all this stuff, when it first hit, so many people realized that their mental health was important. And it was so funny because, in my book, The Healthy Boss, I have a section where I talk about mental health and why it's so important for entrepreneurs and managers and leaders to make sure that they're taking care of their mental health, because it streams on to so many different other things. And they don't realize that, hey, this could be affecting how much money you're bringing. This can be affecting how you're treating your clients, your staff members, what you're bringing home to your family. And that's why you should address any mental health issues, or not even issues, mental health in general. Like, you want to stabilize that. You want to do different things to enhance that as well. So it's great that you're even talking about that, and also like imposter syndrome, things that are relevant and very common in entrepreneurs, but they don't talk about it. They often don't talk about it at all. They kind of just have this picture of, yes, I'm a business owner, I'm doing so well, I'm making money, this is what I'm doing, but they don't talk about the backside of mental health and the day-to-day struggles that they go through. So I really appreciate your topic.
Thank you. Yeah. And I went to Hampton University and I majored in entrepreneurship. So I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. And you're right, when you're in those business classes or internships or how you feel,
Right.
how you're doing. It's all about systems, productivity, professionalism, learning the ropes and how to climb the ladder and all of those things. And it really does kind of push your true self aside. And it's like you put on this business person. And before I started my own business, I spent about 9 years partnered with someone helping to build their business. It was a school, and I was her running mate. And at that time, especially coming in very young, I was 22 when I came on, and I did put myself aside a lot, and I ran myself into the ground, and I was rolling over in bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning to check my email notifications, because God forbid I show up at work in the morning and I miss the email that she sent me at 11 o'clock. We're not going to talk about all the boundary issues that are there, but and all these things, and just feeling like unable to take a mental health day, and showing up even when I was really sick, and making myself sicker because I wouldn't stay home and rest. And so that really taught me a lot. While I did learn a lot business wise, now that I am owning my own business, I want no parts of that. I've learned a lot of what I don't want to do.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I was just talking to one of my consultant clients today about that. She's building her business, and what I told her, I said, I always tell, small companies and entrepreneurs that are just starting out that they need to treat their business just like a Fortune 500 company. So you get days off. If you don't come to work, that business still runs. You still get vacation time. You work from a certain time, whether it's 9 to 5, and then you don't take that stuff home with you. So you have to put those same boundaries with your business. I'm not, sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm not answering an email after 6 o'clock because that's my me time. That's when I just want to lay on the couch and watch TV. So it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you're going to, miss business or you're going to miss a client or whatever. That client will still be there. And that's something that I reinforce with reading the 4 Hour Work Week. So that's a good book if anybody wants to think about, the boundaries that they should set and how they should set their business up to operate where it's not so stressful and overwhelming and daunting on their mental health.
Yeah. And one thing that I talk about in my session is how your business should be performing for you. You should not be performing for your business.
Yes.
It's okay to show up for your business, but you should not have to put on an act and work hours that you know you don't want to be working and put these systems in place that you know are difficult for you to keep up with. Just to really build it around how you operate and how you'll feel good operating, like you said, as it grows. Because if you don't, it's not sustainable.
Right.
And that's what I really want the women to be able to leave with, is feeling good about growing a sustainable business. And I talk about humanizing your hustle, not putting yourself aside, but like, I have bad days. I
Right.
have days where I don't feel well. I have days where I don't feel like it.
Right.
And that's okay. And of course, if you're an entrepreneur and if you're coming to this conference, I really don't think your issue is that you're going to slack off. Like, we don't have to worry about that. I don't have to tell you, well, make sure you still work. No, you're likely on the other end of the spectrum where I have to tell you, remember to eat, go to bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how did you get your topic title, Going All In?
So I believe the theme for the conference is around like investments, right? Finances.
Funding your vision, yes.
Funding your vision. There we go. And so I just think of funding, and with investing, you want to go all in. Like with your money, when people make a big move, it's called going all in. And so going all in it's an acronym, ALL, and A is for accept yourself, L is for love yourself, and then the other L is for launch yourself. And so it's the 3 steps that I share with women about how you can be bold in your business. And firstly, you have to accept where you're at. Then you have to learn to love where you're at, love yourself, not only in your mind, but with the way that you live. And once you have that core foundation down, then you're ready to do the darn thing. You're ready to like, okay, I've got something here. I've got something here, and everybody needs to know about it, because we have mediocre men out here owning stuff and calling the shots. Like, it's statistically proven that women will wait until we feel we meet 100% of job qualifications before we apply.
Right.
Men wait until they feel like they meet 60%. What? What? So when I say mediocre, I'm not like, it's not shots fired. This is statistically proven. Mediocre men are rising to the top because we as women in business are not confident enough to go all in. And I really want the women who come to feel empowered, not only to build their business, but to become investors, to become people who are offering jobs, employment to people in the community, women who can scale their businesses, women who can grow large followings, women who can do whatever they want to do, whatever they want to do. I can't tell them that with this age and technology and everything, the opportunities are literally endless. But I just want them to feel equipped and secure enough in themselves and their ideas, their creativity, the value that they're bringing to the table, to just go for it, really launch themselves.
And it's so funny, like when you were saying that, I just spoke with someone yesterday, and it was a guy who I was helping coach his business. And he's like, I had no idea how to run a business. I just knew that I was an engineer and I had this idea and it would work in the medical field, and I knew how to do that. So he made almost $500,000 not even knowing how to run a business. But I know so many women who have expertise and years of experience, and they're just waiting for it to get perfect. They're waiting to perfect their business plan. They're waiting until that perfect moment when they meet the right person or connected to the right people before they launch their business. And then they're like, wait a minute, somebody came up with my idea or somebody else is doing it. And I'm like, you had this idea years ago. You just have to do it. Like, don't be afraid to do it, because a lot of times, like, we learn along the way. So if you just get out there and do it, you can learn, you can connect with the right people. So I think that the people that come to your session are really going to be like, yes, okay, I can do it. And talk about, like, the imposter syndrome and different things that they would overcome with those tools that you're going to share with them.
Okay, yes, imposter syndrome. That is huge. And I think the phrase imposter syndrome is having a major moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think before we would call it like doubt or fear or
Right.
insecurity. But when you get to the root of it, we're feeling like imposters, like big frauds. And like you said, we are really equipped with a lot of expertise. I'm in a a coaching program right now, and I was thinking of launching a project, um, product. There we go. And I was asking my coach, like, do you think people would pay for this? It feels really basic. I don't know. And she's like, stop it. Stop it. It feels basic to you because you've done years of research. It's not basic to everyone. And I think that's where a lot of us are. Like, it's not special, sis. It is special.
Right.
Um, and so coming to the session, especially in the accept yourself, I share a story about how I got some really hard feedback when I was at a previous job, and I felt like a fraud. It was after I had completed the first draft of my book, and I was like, how am I going to help anyone with their lives? And I apparently suck at my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't touch the manuscript for 6 months. And then speaking engagements started coming to me. Like, I had friends nominate me and stuff like that. And I was like, oh God. But I had to really come to terms. Like, am I going to continue to hide, or am I going to step up to the plate? And what I had to do was take an assessment of myself.
Mm-hmm.
What is true? Okay, I'm not so good at this, and I'm not so good at this, and I'm pretty good at this, except on days like this, and like, and really just come to terms with what is fact, and say, okay, but that doesn't mean that I can't be great.
Right.
That just means I need to learn how to work it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you know those things about yourself, nobody can tell you anything. I like to use the analogy or the example sometimes of the movie 8 Mile with Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about this guy, and he's coming up in the rap scene, and he does rap battles and stuff. And so throughout the movie, so Eminem's white, for anyone who doesn't know, and these black guys, they keep clowning him.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, at the end of the movie, he stops trying to beat them at their own game. And his whole freestyle is dissing himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, my mom's like this. Yeah, I live in a trailer park. Yeah, you slept with my girlfriend, whatever, whatever. Like, tell me something I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole crowd was like, oh. and the other guy couldn't say it. He stole all his material. And so when we can get gut level honest with ourselves and stop trying to, again, put on the business person, strip that away and look at who you are, accept it, and know this is what I'm working with. And of course, you look at the other side, what's good. I don't just tell you to get down on yourself. But it's a lot of times the things we don't want to look at that catch us by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
We try to operate our businesses and form our businesses like we're always going to be on our best day.
Right.
And we're not. So when you plan to operate your business to accommodate your worst days, you'll always feel at home and comfortable in this thing that you're creating. You're creating it.
Mm-hmm.
You should feel comfortable with the thing that you're creating.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I love that you say, do that assessment of like, okay, this is what I'm good at and this is what I'm not good at, and it's okay. And something that I want to add to that is like, yes, all business owners, they have something that they're good at and they're not so good at it. But you know what happens between the ones that are successful? They may just hire someone that to do something, the things that they're not so good at. Like if you're not good at social media, yeah, hire somebody. If you're not good at keeping your books, hire somebody. It's somebody out there that can support you in the things that you're not so good at. So it does not mean that you are not going to be a good business owner and that you're not going to succeed. It just means that you need to find a way to overcome those things that you're not so good at and then expand on the things that you are good at. So I love it. I love that. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Thanks.
So do you have any projects or anything that you're working on?
Yes, actually, I'm very, very excited. My website is under construction and it's going to launch. It's actually going to launch just in time for the conference. I was telling my web designer it needs to be done by September 11th because I need these women to know where to find me. And so there's a page up right now. If you go there, it's nikietaLambert.com, and you can sign up for, my newsletter, and you'll get the notification when the website is complete. So there's a landing page up. It's cute, but it's not the whole shebang. And so on the website, you'll be able to see I have a 31-day guide for healing. It's for people who are working to heal from childhood trauma. And it has prompts for each day for 31 days. And it's called the Month of Mending. And it's a PDF journal, and it has fillable field, so you can actually type your notes in because there's a call for a lot of reflection in there. So I'm really excited about that. And for the holiday season, it's going to be up on the website, but I'm not going to really advertise it till October, but I'll tell you guys.
Okay.
I have a gift package for the holidays called the 12 Days of Christmas. And so for anyone who signs up for it, it could be for yourself or you can have it sent to a loved one. There will be 12 gifts delivered on different days throughout the month of December, and they're all centered around comfort and self-care and wellness and things like that. And so it's just a really special gift experience.
Oh, that is really cool. Yes, you definitely have to share with that information with us as it gets closer to the Christmas holiday so that we can definitely support that. That sounds like a really cool idea. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. So how can someone find you now on social media?
Okay, yes, I just started a YouTube channel. Yeah. So I know I'm really excited about that. I talk about the business side of what I have going on. So behind the scenes of what it's like self-publishing, what it's like trying to build a career as a speaker and things like that. But then also I talk about self-care. I grew up with a narcissistic mother, and so I talk about that on there. But it's really, there's maybe 5 or 6 videos on there, so it's just getting started. But if you like and subscribe and hit the notification button, then you'll hear every time I post something new. But my main place is Instagram, and that's, again, it's just at my name, Nikieta Lambert, and I have a lot of fun on there. I talk about trauma, self-care, healing, anxiety, depression, just the whole shebang. And the community that's growing on there is really cool. There's never really any drama in my comments, so it's just a place of validation and relation.
Awesome. Well, I am looking forward to hearing all the wonderful feedback from all the women who go all in after attending your session on September the 11th. And I am so thankful that you joined us today. So thank you so much for sharing all of those good tips and nuggets. And I hope that some of you women go ahead and follow her so that you can do your month of mending and your 12 days of Christmas and all that good stuff. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been great.
All right. You enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Take care. Thank you for tuning in.